everyone, this is Lauren from Mama Says. Welcome to my channel where I talk about tips, tricks, and products that help make parenting life a little easier. So today I'm going to be talking about the transition for your baby to start eating solids. So we started our son at about 5 months old, and this was after we had his 5-month checkup and we got the green light from our pediatrician. So usually it's recommended that you don't start solids until about 4 to 6 months old, and you look for certain signs. So some of the signs are that they can support their head on their own, that they are interested in food, interested in what you're putting in your mouth, and another one is that they're starting to make these sort of chewing motions just on their own. So for us, like I said, our son was 5 months old. He was able to sit up, hold his head up by himself, and he would sit with us at dinner even before he was eating. And we started noticing that he would start grabbing for our spoons or trying to take the food off our plate and put it in his own mouth. And so we thought, okay, it might be the time. So the very first time he ate food, so they recommend that you do this at a time where they're not really full, but they're also not super hungry. So we did this at our normal dinner time, which is 6 o'clock, and he would usually go to bed at 7. So we did it close to bedtime at sort of a regular dinner time. And his first food was baby oatmeal. And our big mistake, he was all in his pajamas, and we had a cloth bib. And so that was his first little, I guess, eating outfit. And it was very messy. So what I would recommend, what we actually ended up starting to do from then on, is he would just be naked except a diaper, and we used a silicone bib, which those are awesome. We have one that has a little trough in it, so it catches a lot of food that falls down. And also, since it's silicone, it's so easy to wash. So I'll either hand wash it or you can throw it in the dishwasher, and it's really easy. So he even still uses that now, and he's 1 year old. So I would recommend a somewhat naked baby, this silicone bib, and we used a little baby spoon. This one's from Boone, and it's really small, gives you really little bites. And so this was perfect for him, for his baby oatmeal. Or then later on, we started doing, mashed up bananas, avocados. You could steam and puree food like apples and different vegetables. So that first foray into solid foods ended up going pretty well. He was definitely pretty surprised about this new sensation of real food in his mouth. And we used baby oatmeal, and we did mix it with breast milk to kind of help the transition for him a little bit. So every night at around that same time, we would feed him his little solid food. It was a big event for us. And they recommend that you give them the same food 3 or 4 days in a row. So if they have a reaction, you know what it's from. So, we started with the oatmeal, and like I said, bananas, avocados. Those were some of my favorites because you didn't have to prepare them. You can just mash them up easily without cooking them. So when I did make a fruit or vegetable that you had to, wash, peel, steam, and puree, I always made sure I did it in larger batches to save time later for me. And what I would do is I would make the large batch, and then I'd put them in an ice cube tray, and mine was silicone, which makes it easy that you could push out the ice cubes. And so let's say it was dinner time one day, and I said, oh, you know what, I think he would really enjoy some squash today. Then I would just pull this out of the freezer, I'd pop one into a little ramekin, and I'd usually just let it sit out for a while, and then that would be his dinner that night. And so I would really recommend freezing things in batches, because it really does save time for you in the long run and make all this transition just a little bit easier. All right, so I talked about the signs that you look for when you're thinking about starting solid foods for your baby, kind of what that first day of solid foods might look like. And I'm going to continue with some tips for your baby as they're really starting to eat more and more. So a lot of it is just about changing things over time, little by little. So we started off with just a few bites of food every evening, and then as he enjoyed it and learned how to eat more and more, we would give him bigger meals at nighttime, and then we would And then as time went on, so he was already kind of eating dinner, and then I would start him eating breakfast with us too. So he would do breakfast and dinner. Then I'd add lunch in. And so little by little, I just made solid food more a part of our daily routine. And something to remember too is that in the beginning, it's not about the nutritional content of the food. It's really about practice and getting to understand, having your child understand and learn how to eat. Most of their nutrition is coming from formula or breast milk. So that really helped me take a lot of pressure off of me of what I was providing for him. And I'm like, okay, good. It's just practice. We're both learning this together. That was a helpful mindset. All right, so another product that was really helpful to us when our son was first eating was this Boone silicone feeder. Now I chose this one over the Munchkin mesh one because this one is so much easier to clean. It's silicone and has little holes in it, and it comes apart. So you can take this part out and rinse it and put it in the dishwasher, and it's clean. And we use this at the beginning of mealtime, or especially if we went out to eat at a restaurant, I would pack this Boone feeder and maybe a banana or maybe a Tupperware of strawberries, because there's a little bit of a learning curve, but eventually my son was able to hold it and bite on it on his own, which was a huge deal because it's really tough to try to be eating your own dinner and also spoon feed your child at the same time. So this was just a great distraction for him so that we could eat and we could talk to our friends if we were all at dinner together. So yeah, I would just pack this and pack some other fruit for him that I could put in when we were at the restaurant. The last thing I want to talk about today is the sippy cup. So this is the Munchkin Miracle 360 cup, and what's so great about it is that they suck on it and water comes out where they're sucking from, but if it falls on the floor, it doesn't spill, which is just so great. And they also have these handles to make it easier for your baby to drink. So once our son kind of got a better handle on eating, we introduced the sippy cup. And in the beginning, we were definitely the ones that were helping him drink and understand, I guess what water is and what that drinking motion is, not from a bottle. And little by little, he got better at drinking it on his own. We just had to be consistent and give it to him at least one time every day. And finally, at 10 months old, he really understood it. So for a while, he could drink like this if it was full, but it took him until that 10-month mark to really understand that you have to lean it back for more water to get to you. I have other friends whose children learned how to drink from this quicker than my son, but for us it was 10 months and he really had it down pat, which is, it's always fun to see when your kids are learning and understanding things better. So to us it was a big celebration day when he finally got it. All right, so that's it. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I've also linked in the description some of the products that I talked about. I wish you the best of luck as you start your baby on solids. This is a really exciting time, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day.